Leo, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Now, keep in mind, these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements because you could have messages there as well. All right, my friends, let's get started. For Leo, what is the energy around the week ahead for Leo? Oh, fork in the road. Leo, you got some decisions to make. Let's see here. Building blocks. Okay, there we go. Okay, we see tick-tock on the bottom of the deck in reverse. Very interesting. So divine timing is at work here. Oh, there was a card hiding behind there. Okay, so we have fork in the road, thinker, why, building blocks, orphaned, chop wood, and to be fair. Okay, interesting. So it looks like, we'll just move these out of the way. Looks to me like we've got a situation here, Leo, where you're going to have to make some choices about direction. Like, which way are you going to go with something? I feel like it's something that you've been thinking about and sort of asking yourself the question, why? Why is something the way that it is? Feels like it's on your mind this week, Leo, and it almost feels like you're going to get to the heart of the matter of this. It feels like the perfect time to be asking yourself this question. Why? You know? And it's like you're subconsciously maybe sort of already know why, but you're sort of denying it to yourself. There's almost this like intentional hidden awareness where it's like you might think that now is the time to sort of be doing this soul searching question. And it's interesting because I think that as you keep asking yourself why, what you uncover is actually going to set you free from an issue that you've been thinking about a lot. And so now really might be the time to keep asking yourself this, because it's going to sort of wear away at that intention to sort of not be aware of something. It almost feels like this is some shadow work. When I see this orphan card in reverse, I feel like you're doing a bit of shadow work here where you're sort of pushing yourself to see the truth about something that you don't have a conscious awareness of because it's a little bit too intense. You know, it's totally a defense mechanism that's ready to come down. You know, when I see these cards, it makes me feel like you're ready to sort of look at something in a way that allows you to understand the truth and fairness about it. There's a cause and effect aspect here. So this is a situation where I feel like you're asking yourself, why is my relationship with someone the way it is? Or why is the dynamic between me and this the way that it is? This has to do with you and an experience or a person or a relationship. And you're asking yourself, why is this the way that it is? Why? And it's interesting. You want to understand this. And I think that there's a part of you that already understands why, you know, but you might not want to admit it to yourself because it's too big to admit to yourself, because it's a bit of shadow work here. And I feel like, you know, when we dive into shadow work, we have to sort of be willing to do that exercise without judgment and without denial, like without judging ourselves. Because then if you judge yourself, you're not going to get to the heart of the matter. You know, you'll stop yourself because you don't want to judge yourself. So you'll get to a point where you'll get to a place where you deny it even because it's too intense to admit that to yourself, that, you know, there's a cause and effect here. So it's like there's been action on both sides of this that have caused this situation to be what it is. And it almost feels like you're getting a little bit like nervous about this situation not being resolved. You want to resolve it now. There's some intensity behind it. For some reason, you're feeling like this has to get managed now. I don't have time. It's like you're saying to yourself, you don't have time to wait for this to naturally resolve itself. You want to understand it today. And you're wondering, how to go about that. I think you're going about it just perfect, actually. I feel like you're uncovering it layer by layer, and that you're going to understand more about this the more questions you ask yourself. You just have to sort of be open to some truth that might be a little upsetting, but it's actually healing. It's not really upsetting. It's coming to the surface for healing. But sometimes when we face our shadows, it can be upsetting. And that's why it's not an exercise that a lot of people sometimes go for, the shadow work. It's better just to keep those things in the shadows, but eventually they all come to the surface anyway. So you may as well, I think life always pushes us to have our shadows come up so that we can heal them, not so that we can suffer, but so that we can heal those shadows and move forward without them, lighter and healed. It's interesting. This is such an interesting beginning to your reading, because I feel like you're really being invited here to open up to this and have a good look at it, and to feel like it's okay to have a look at this. It's okay to ask why about this. Let's jump into the tarot cards and see if we can understand where this is affecting you the most right now. Yeah, okay, so 10 of Wands. So there's a burden here. So you've been carrying this around. You've been carrying this around for a while. You feel stuck, Chariot in reverse. So carrying this around for a long time has made you feel very stuck, and I feel like you really want to get resolution here. You are blocked by fear. There is some fear into diving into this. Emotional fear is coming up whenever you dive into that. That's natural for shadow work, very natural. So this so far to me is really suggesting that you're doing the work. And there's the Page of Pentacles in reverse, suggesting that you might be putting it off because of the fear. You're stuck, and you feel like this is a burden that you've been carrying around for a while, but because the fear is blocking some of your ability to take decision and make directional choices, we see the Page of Pentacles in reverse, which can be an indication that you're procrastinating on something, that you're needing to move on something, and you're procrastinating a little bit. You're not really committing to it fully, but I think that it's because it's intense. It's shadow work. It's hard. It's not, it brings up so much. And I think it's bringing up a lot of fear for you, because whatever this is it's something you've been carrying around for a long time, and it's very embedded now. Yeah, you're really trying to wrap this cycle up. I think you really want to. There's an urgency behind it. When I look at TikTok, it's like there's a part of you that's like, I have to resolve this now. Perhaps something is hanging in the balance. Perhaps there's something hanging in the balance here, Leo, where you feel like if this doesn't get resolved now, then it's almost like you feel like you're going to be out of time. There's the King of Wands, which is Leo energy, and it's in reverse on the bottom of the deck, which sort of tells me that, yeah, there's a part of you that's in a rush to do this. There's a part of you that feels a sense of urgency to get this task or this idea or this problem solved. It feels to me like you're trying to figure out why something is the way it is with a relationship that means a lot to you. And it's been like this for a while. For some of you, I actually feel like this could be a relationship with your family, like either your children or your parents. It's like you have this issue that you feel you need to resolve quickly, because there's a part of you that feels like you're running out of time for some reason. Like that if you don't change this now, then it's going to be like this for the foreseeable future, or that you won't get a chance to make amends for something or to understand something, so that you can look at someone in the eye and say, I understand now why this is the way it is. That's what it feels like. It's really interesting. let's clarify some of these cards so we can see if we can get a little bit more information here for Leo. Devil. Yeah, this is shadow work for sure. You're delving deep to find out some answers. You want to know why. Why are things like this in this area? And there's this Six of Cups. That confirms to me that this is about either your children or you're the parent and you're trying to assess why your relationship with your children is the way it is, or you're the you might be an adult child and you're trying to figure out, why is my relationship with my parents the way that it is? This feels like an inner child situation. So either you're healing with your children or you're trying to heal your inner child because of something to do with a parental issue. I can't shake it. This really feels like shadow work that is being done on the level of family. And we all know that can be heavy stuff. There's something here that feels false. So you're trying to understand what that is and why. I think you're trying to understand why the dynamic is the way that it is. And you've been thinking about it so much. It's really becoming a big part of your questioning in any moment. It feels like you could be thinking about this. And why is it like this? Why? Why are they like this with me? Or why am I like this with them? Like it's that kind of thing. And you're trying to understand it, but you do get blocked by fear. But I feel like Ten of Pentacles, this is going to get resolved. And I feel like it's going to be in the family. The Ten of Pentacles kind of confirms that for me, that this is a family thing, but it will get resolved. And it feels like it's going to bring healing to something for someone's inner child. And it may feel really stuck and difficult and blocked by fear, and part of you like doesn't know how to commit to solving this riddle. It almost feels like that at this point, where it's like a riddle, but it's really emotional. This is an emotional healing. When I see the 6 and 7 of Cups together here, both in reverse, I can't help but think this is shadow work. Someone's trying to heal a connection with their family. Someone's trying to heal a connection with family. And I mean, this time of the year, that stuff can come up. Families sometimes get together, or there is no get together. And so then that in itself can trigger some of these things to come up. You know what I mean? And so it's interesting. So we see the 8 of Swords here also coming up. So there's a lot of fear of outcome. I think that's where the fear is. The fear is in what will the outcome be. Like perhaps for some of you, there hasn't been any talking, or there's been talking, but it's constantly stressed, like the relationship is so stressed. So there's this fear of the outcome here. And we see the 2 of Cups on the bottom of the deck in reverse, which tells me that there is a relationship here. I feel like it's a family relationship. There's a relationship here that's out of sorts. It's out of balance. It's not in harmony. And it's creating a lack of balance within you, Leo. And I think you just want to solve this. You don't want it to be this way anymore. And you're not sure how. There's emotional blocks that need to be opened up. There's disharmony. There's been a relationship that's been disrupted here. And there is a healing of past traumas. This is shadow work. Leo is doing the work here. Or you're part of this, Like if you're a cross watcher watching because you're interested in a relationship with a Leo, there's something going on here with a healing of past traumas. Feels like shadow work. Feels like it involves parent-child relationships. It feels like it's going to work out. I do feel like it's going from that Page of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles, meaning that something is going to bring this into healing, and that the World card is reassuring me that this is all going to get resolved. But there is this fear of an outcome left over. Like it's almost like the fear blocking this relationship from healing is sort of evolving into like what's going to happen in the future, like what's going to happen later on. You know, it's interesting. This is a very specific reading. If it's resonating for you, please leave me some comments and let me know. Okay, let's see. What does Leo need to surrender or surrender to in this situation? Does Leo need to surrender or surrender to? Oh, interesting. We see surrender procrastination, which came up in the Page of Pentacles. That there is this sort of vibe of procrastination where, you know, you want to resolve this, but there are times where you may be procrastinating on it because it's very stressful. Surrender stress. And it's also, there's a lot of fear here. And surrender denial. See, you know, it's interesting. Like when I started this reading, didn't I say something about that? Like you might already know, but it's something that's too intense to admit to yourself. So there's a bit of denial here. You might know why, but you can't admit it to yourself because it's too intense. It's too emotionally intense and stressful. And then it makes you worry about the outcome. This is family stuff. Okay, it says here, surrender procrastination. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will lead to success. Surrender stress. Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go and come back to center. Yes. Surrender denial. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. And I think that's the key here. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decision on how to act moving forward, which is how this whole reading started, which with this fork in the road, because you're carrying a lot of burdens and you're not sure how to resolve them. So I feel like there is a family relationship that's very stressed here. And it's like, it's stress not just from the current situation. This goes back into inner child stuff. This feels like a parent-child thing, for sure. Yes. All right, Leo, I'm going to leave it at that for you. I hope this has been helpful. Please leave me some comments and let me know if this has resonated for you. And if it has, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing. It's so nice to connect with you through these readings. I look forward to reading for you again soon, my friends. Take care, and I'm sending you so much love and light.